Recently, we got new info on 6.6 banners, and in this video, you will know exactly what was shared, how reliable this info is, and what exactly this means for your polls. And I have some spicy leaked info for version 6.6 as well, which I will talk about in the end. But before that, a quick word for sponsor. If you want to play games outside of gacha, but let's be honest, Steam prices can get pretty expensive. That's where Loot Bar comes in. Loot Bar is mainly known as a top-up platform, but they also have a gain key marketplace where you can find discounts of up to 80%. For example, I've been wanting to try Resident Evil for a while now. On Steam, it's priced at $82, but on Loot Bar, it's only $54. That's already $28 saved without doing anything. And if you're a new user, the price drops even further to just $49. That's over $33 off just for signing up. And it doesn't stop there. There's also a 20% cash back promo, so you're saving even more. You can activate your key in about 30 seconds, and you'll get money back on top of it. Loot Bar has a 4.9 rating on Trustpilot with tens of thousands of reviews. They offer official keys, instant delivery, and even a 7-day refund guarantee. Honestly, it's just a cheaper and smarter way to buy real games. Check out my link in the description and the pinned comment. Now, let's get straight to the point. We just got information today that the 6.6 banners will include NICOLE, Mavica, LOHEN, and Kinich. This info was shared just a few days ago, and it originated from a post on X that got pretty big attention. It's over 300,000 views and 16,000 likes, so it's definitely worth talking about. NICOLE, LOHEN, and Kinich are in the 6.6 banners based on this info. This information also specifies the characters, but we don't know the order of these banners. So if we talk about whether this is the actual banner lineup, we will discuss the reliability later. But for now, let's assume that this is the lineup for 6.6. What does it mean? How will the phase lineup most likely look? Well, most likely it will be NICOLE in the first phase. NICOLE being in the first phase is the most obvious assumption because she's a new character, and most of the time new characters are placed in the first phase. While LOHEN is also a new character, a limited 5-star in 6.6, he will most likely be in the second phase. As for Kinich, honestly, I don't know. It could be either phase. There is a chance that NICOLE will be first and Kinich second. And there's also a chance that NICOLE and LOHEN will be in the first phase together. It's pretty possible, I would say. Meanwhile, Mavica and Kinich could be in the second phase together as well. It's possible, so we don't really know. We can only speculate. Anyway, let's touch on the reliability of this info, because I believe this info is not that reliable. Personally, I think this is not the banner lineup that we will see. The main reason is that I've seen this many times before the beta even starts. We sometimes get full banner lineups, but here we have a full lineup and the beta hasn't even started yet. Plus, and most importantly, none of the reliable sources have reposted this info. Now, from my personal point of view, Kinich should be swapped with Citlali if Mavica is getting a rerun. This is the most important point in this whole situation, that none of the reliable sources have even mentioned this lineup. Listen, I follow a lot of leakers on Telegram, but none of them have said anything about this specific lineup yet. So, with that in mind, I would say that most likely this is not the lineup we'll see. But at the same time, part of it could still be correct, because NICOLE and LOHEN will be in 6.6. That's basically confirmed. This is not even really a leak anymore, because we have known for a long time that 6.6 will include these two new characters, so that part is not really a leak. At the same time, there are rerun slots to consider. Based on previous patterns, it's very likely that a strong rerun like Mavica could appear. I've talked about this in my previous videos. I think upcoming patches should include Mavica or another major rerun, so this part actually makes sense. As for Kinich, it also makes sense because his last banner was quite a long time ago, so it would be reasonable to expect a rerun here. So I would say that this info is not really a leak, but more of an educated and very solid guess of what could happen in 6.6 banners, even though it's not from reliable sources. It still makes sense for these banners to be partially correct, because the new characters are already expected based on known data patterns and release order. Well, maybe. I'm not fully sure, but it's definitely possible. Now, if we talk about each character, and if this is the banner lineup we can expect, what do we know about each character and who should you actually pull for? Nicole will probably be the star of this patch. She is the best character to consider pulling for. We know that she will be a pyro character, but we don't have strong information about her kit, what exactly she does, how she works, and so on. But the beta starts very soon, so we won't have to wait long. She will most likely be a high-value character, and she will probably be a best-in-slot support for future characters, like Alice. Even though Alice is not coming in 6.x right now, Nicole is still probably the best pull in 6.6. And on top of that, she has an amazing design. Honestly, an angelic design, my personal favorite. Also, I find it a bit weird that we don't get Alice in this arc. You know, the current arc won't have Alice release, which is pretty strange, because Nicole will definitely have huge synergy with her. So I honestly don't really have a clear idea of what the developers are thinking. Why not release Alice in 6.8, maybe? But anyway, I think that Alice will come very soon because usually they release one character first and then their best-in-slot unit comes later. So the same situation will likely happen with Alice. But I also want to touch on the fact that we won't get a Duran rerun in 6.6 because I think he would have good synergy with Nicole, but who knows, maybe he'll come later, because I originally thought that 6.6 should have a Nodcry character rerun. Next is Lohen. Well, yes, Lohen will have a limited banner in 6.6, but in 6.7, he will be moved to the standard banner. So yes, he will become a standard character. All standard characters released previously followed this pattern. They get a limited banner first, and then move to standard in the next patch, which means you can lose your 50-50 to him in the future, and most likely he won't be extremely strong compared to limited characters, even though a lot of people are excited about him. Mavica is definitely worth pulling, but I believe most people already have her since she already had her both release and a rerun in a previous arc. However, quite some time has passed since her last rerun, so many players may still want her. She is obviously one of the best pyro DPS characters to have on your account, and she could potentially have synergy with Nicole since they are both pyro. If that's the case, it would make even more sense for Nicole to be in the first phase. As for Kinich, I think he would be a secondary, least priority pull in this version. Lohen is clearly the lowest priority from a long-term perspective, since you can get him later from standard anyway. So pulling for Lohen is not the most strategic choice long-term, but if you like his character, then of course you can still pull for him. The same goes for Kinich. So overall, I think Nicole and Mavica would be the stars of this patch if this banner lineup turns out to be accurate. In conclusion, I would say it's better to wait until the 6.6 beta starts, which should happen around April 8th. At that point, we will get gameplay for Nicole and Lohen, and most importantly, we will get reliable banner info from trusted sources. That is the key moment. So for now, we just need to wait a bit longer. It's about 2 weeks from now, which is not short, but if you want reliable information, you have to wait. Now, if you skipped to this part, that means you are ready for some spoiler. Now listen, as per reliable leaker HXG, in version 6.6, Dottore and Scaramouche will return. Yes, it's true. How will that happen is still a mystery, but it will be exciting to see them again. So overall, I would say that the 6.6 banner info is most likely a guess rather than a real leak. Additionally, the source is unknown. I've never heard of it before, so I can't confirm its credibility at all. But since the post got a lot of attention on Twitter, I think it was still worth discussing. So yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. What do you think about all of this? Do you think it's real? And if it is, who are you pulling for? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Also, Loot Bar offers discounted game keys with savings up to 80%. Links in the description and pinned comment. Go check it out.